Everybody, and thank you for joining us today. I'm so glad that you're all able to be with us, and I'd like to welcome our supporters, our partners, and volunteers from across the UK. As you know, this is our 40th birthday year, and we had many celebrations in place to mark that event that have obviously been curtailed with the current situation. But we still wanted to be able to talk to our volunteers and supporters and our partners in Africa and let you know about the work that's been happening over the last year. Just a few things in terms of housekeeping. Um, we're expecting the event to last about an hour. We are recording you. We're recording the presentation. We're not actually recording you where you are, but it does mean that later on we'll be able to put this presentation up online for anybody else that wants to be able to access it. There is a chat function which you should be able to see at the side of your screen, and you can use that to put any questions you've got, and we'll try and get through to as many of them as we can at the end of the presentation. Before we get started, I want to just pass on a big thank you from myself and all of the team here at South Alliance. We'd like to thank you all for sticking by us. These are difficult and challenging times for everybody, everywhere, and it makes a big difference that we've got all those people behind us helping us to get on and carry on with what we're doing. Our partners have done an amazing job adapting to the many challenges that they're facing as a result of COVID. It's impacting obviously on them as organisations. It's impacting on the work they can do and how they deliver it. But as ever, they've been amazing and done their very best in these difficult times to carry on supporting as many people as possible. Our supporters, our volunteers, as ever, have been amazing, but even more so the last 6 months when we've really needed that support. Volunteers have rallied around, and now we're back, got our doors open again. They're collecting the tools, they're refurbishing the tools, and helping us to pack them so that we can get our shipment off to Malawi before the end of this year, and then next year we can carry on with other shipments. One of the events that we have been able to progress is our Tea for Tools event. Many of those events have been held virtually by people that have been able to hold those for us, and we're very grateful to all the people that have done. If you haven't yet done so and you'd like to, then please feel free to hold your own virtual tea party. You can ask your attendees, your virtual attendees, to make donations via our Just Giving page. And again, any support you can offer on that would be much appreciated. Even here at our Tools Self-Reliance headquarters, our volunteers part in our mini Tools Self-Reliance this week. And enjoyed cakes made by our star baker Joe and scones and cream. So they all benefited from that input from Joe, and I think enjoyed that opportunity to support our event. Right, we're going to get started and moving on with some of our presentations for you today. We're going to find out where we started from. As we look forward and we look at what we've achieved so far, we want to be able to look back and see where this all started 40 years ago. So over to our first video for you.
Andrew Zageo, Malawi. You know what, guys? My life has changed already now because I trained motorcycle at your head. So I just wanted you to know that now I'm a better man. Can you see? Can you see our shop? Huh? Life is better now. Thank you, guys.
Gloria, and I trained in Street Girls 8, and that is where I've gotten so far. That's my shop, and that's the things I do. And I'm hoping to get to the higher rank.
Whilst travelling and volunteering across Africa and Asia in the late 1960s and early 1970s, Glyn Roberts, the founder of Tools to Self-Reliance, was moved by witnessing extreme poverty and ineffective aid programmes. Having travelled to Tanzania and throughout Africa, he returned to the UK and published several short books for volunteers, exploring what development meant and how organisations could act to support those in need. During a visit to Uganda, he saw people trying to learn skills such as carpentry and bricklaying without the appropriate equipment, and working tradespeople struggling to earn a living with poor quality, worn-out tools. He noticed shops in Kampala selling imported new tools, but they were in short supply, were not always the best quality, and were often too expensive for all to afford. Upon returning home to Gosport in Hampshire, he took the time whilst working at Portsmouth Polytechnic to figure out how to procure quality tools. Could companies donate them? Would the government support to fund this project? And how could he make the link between people in the UK and rural communities in Africa? His mother Ruth suggested emptying their shed of his late father's tools. At first, Glyn wasn't sure about collecting old tools, but saw that they were of good quality. Soon enough, Ruth was knocking on the doors of neighbours, and they too were willing to donate tools that they no longer needed. He couldn't sleep that night as he did the maths of potentially how many tools across the UK could potentially be collected and then sent to support people in Africa. This is where the idea for Tools to Self-Reliance was born, to collect and refurbish old tools in the UK and send them to communities in Africa. In the summer of 1978, a research trip took him to Tanzania. This was also an opportunity to find out how he could make links to distribute the tools. He met with the Tanzanian government department SEDO, who also recognised there was a need for opportunities for local people to learn quality trade skills, as well as a need for quality tools. The first meeting of Tools for Tanzania, as the organisation was then called, met on the 7th of November 1978 at 7:30 in Gosport. The first meeting was attended by Glyn, his mother Ruth, his wife, Sarah and Charles Hiram, and Eddie Grimble joined the team a week later. Soon, neighbours, friends were donating their tools, and Glyn rallied the students at Portsmouth Polytechnic, where he then worked. With their first 300 tools, they gained the keys to their first base, which was a derelict church, St Andrews, which has now been demolished. In its first year in 1979, Tools for Tanzania refurbished 2,021 tools, which they then sent to SEDO in Tanzania in June 1979. This space in a derelict church in Portsmouth was also the first workshop where they had a bench made from timber found in a skip. In 1980, the charity was officially registered under the name it's known today, Tools for Self-Reliance, and that year a further 4,708 tools were refurbished. Small refurbishing groups started to pop up around the UK. In 1981, with the Portsmouth Church being demolished, the workshop moved back to Gosport, and a further 6,758 tools were refurbished. This was also the year that the Netley Marsh workshop, which Tools to Self-Reliance is still based now, site was bought, although it looked very different then to how it does today. Formerly, it was an old dog kennels, and a lot of work went into renovating the site. Volunteers around removed rotten wood and rubble to replace the floor, and the building was reconstructed to start looking like how it does today. In 1982, 9,564 tools were refurbished. 1984, Anne Morshead began painting the iconic mural that you can see along the building today. It spans the length of the main workshop, and rain, shine, and snow, she persevered, and after 2 years, completed this incredible artwork. 1984 also saw 40 groups working hard across the UK to collect, refurbish, and send tools down to Netley Marsh before they were then sent to Tanzania. 1985 saw the 50,000 tool refurbished, and 1988 was the third container sent to Tanzania, 17 tonnes loading in one day. 1989, Princess Anne visited the workshop, and 1994, 500,000 tools were sent. After 16 full years of interest, friendship, and satisfaction, in 1995, Glyn decided to step away from the organisation and handed in his resignation. Mark Smith was invited to move into the role of coordinator. Over the last 40 years, Tools Self-Reliance has been supported by so many incredible people who played such an important role in enabling communities to build sustainable livelihoods. Our partners who deliver quality training, bring years of experience and knowledge, our staff and trustees, and thousands of volunteers across the UK, and supporters who donate their time, tools, attend events, and are generous in our fundraising. You can read more about the early days of the charity in the book Keeping Something Alive, written by Glyn Roberts and Mark Smith. We hope you enjoy this montage of memories from years gone by, and can you spot any familiar faces?
Hello everybody, I hope you enjoyed that first montage of clips from our volunteers around the UK and looking back at our history. We're now going to move to looking at some of the work that our partners have done in Africa, and we're going to start with our partners in Northac, who would like to send a message out to all of our supporters.
Northac has been a partnership with Tools for Self-Reliance for some years now. The partnership has resulted in improved livelihood of so many young people, their families, and communities that they come from. The decision or the strategy of Tools for Self-Reliance to provide tools to aid development work in Global South is amazing. It's something that we need to encourage. It's a novelty, because often what we see is providing the soft skills, but tools to promote development has been quite unique. And we celebrate Tools for Self-Reliance for this initiative and encourage them to stick to this path and not leave out the tools for development component. On your occasion of celebrating your 40th anniversary, NOSAC wants to associate with you, and on behalf of the thousands of young people who are now smiling and having decent job because of our intervention, we wish you well, we celebrate you, and we hope you remain focused and you keep providing the needed support so that we'll continue to give many more young people hope. Happy anniversary to Choose for Self-Reliance.
Hello, my name is Elisha Joseph. I am working here, Binance Metal Enterprise. First, I was doing nothing until NOSAC Tools for Self-Reliance approached me. They take me to training in welding. After the training, they take me to do exams. I write the exams and they graduate me with certificates. And also they add me tools to be working. When I came home, I was seeking for a job until I met this company. They asked me about my tools and certificates. I was lucky, I have it. When they look at it, they employ me. I am now helping my family, and I thank them very much. Tools for Self-Reliance, may God richly bless you. And also, I am wishing you happy 40th anniversary. God bless you. Thank you.
Hello and good afternoon. I wanted to give you an update on our Africa programme and the activities of our partners across Africa and how they've been responding to our current crisis with COVID. Most of them have faced some sort of restriction or lockdown that's obviously impacted on their work and their ability to deliver projects. But I'm very pleased to say that all of our partners have responded very positively and found ways to work and to continue to support the people in their communities. Where partners have continued to deliver their projects, this has only been done so when they know they can deliver it safely. So partners have been very conscious to ensure that any trainees, trainers and their staff team are equipped with the masks, the hand sanitizer, hand washing facilities that they need to be able to train efficiently and effectively without putting anybody at risk. So for example, our partner in Northern Ghana, Woodep, they were able to restart their training after the initial lockdown. But they obviously made sure that all of their trainees had the face masks that they needed. They were placed into workshops with existing businesses to reduce the number of people that were all in one place at the training centre. And they ensured that they monitored each of those workshops to make sure that everybody was complying with the restrictions in place and wearing any protective equipment that they needed. Those trainees have now finished their training and are now are on the road to starting their new lives with new jobs or starting their own businesses. In Malawi, our partner Young Achievers Foundation were in the process of building a new training centre, which they got support from the Japanese embassy to do. They were able to restart that activity as well, and they've been able to use some of their past trainees and also some of their current trainees to help with that work. So they've had trainees helping to build the furniture, to do the roofing, to install the electrics at their centre. And I'm pleased to say that they're just about to start a new project with their first cohort at the training centre. In Sierra Leone, our partners have reported a number of social and economic impacts of the COVID restrictions on the people that they're working with and in the communities that they're working with. Baptist Women are currently delivering a 2-year project with us, which provides support to tailoring trainees who are doing a year of vocational training. Alongside that, they're delivering an outreach programme into their communities. And some of those activities have now been adapted to meet some of the issues that are being faced by members of those communities, and Baptist Women are working hard to support those community members that are having issues and to find other organisations where needed to support them and help them to address the problems that they're facing. In some cases, our partners have not been able to continue their training because of restrictions that are in place. So, for example, in Uganda, there are still restrictions on training institutions. That means that not all of our partners are able to continue the training or to start the training. But our partners have still been very keen to do what they can to support their communities. So, for example, our partner RUPAD secured funding to distribute 2,000 masks into their communities, and also to set up water tanks where community members could come to do hand washing, and for them to promote the need for safe hygiene practices within the country. Equally, in Zambia, our partners based in Ndola, KVTC, they've also been using their tailoring trainees who have been making face masks in the centre, which they've then distributed to other trainees at the centre. It's a requirement that they all wear the masks and that the public in general wear masks, so they've been able to distribute those to the trainees and also to other members of their communities. Looking forward, here at Tools Self-Reliance, our focus is now on getting our schedule of projects back on track. Our volunteers are now coming back in, and that means that we're able to get started again on refurbishing tools and equipment. And right now we're very much focused on completing a shipment that we're due to send to Malawi of the projects that will be starting there this year or into next year. And so that's our main focus at the moment, and all being well, that shipment will be out in the next 2 months. This is an unprecedented time for us all across the globe, but we're fortunate here at Tools Self-Reliance to have a band of very loyal supporters and volunteers who contribute so much to our work and enable us to deliver the projects that we are working on in Africa. And this means that we can continue to support young people in Africa, and that by doing so it will enable them to build better lives. As you all know, tomorrow is actually our 40th birthday. It's been an interesting and challenging year to celebrate any kind of birthday in, but we're very confident that we have a loyal band of supporters and volunteers here in the UK. We have an amazing group of partners working with us in Africa, and we are very confident that together we can continue into the future to support the people that we are supporting in Africa, and that will enable them to build better lives for themselves and their families. Our thanks go out to all of our partners in Africa, to all of our supporters here in the UK, and to all the people that work with and for Tools Self-Reliance. Everybody gives of themselves, and that will help us to make a difference in people's lives.
I'm Head of Fundraising at Tools for Self-Reliance, and you can see me on the screen here alongside the other current members of the fundraising team, Joe and Julia. I'm just going to share a brief update on the year so far and our plans for the future. So, at the end of 2019, we were feeling very positive and optimistic. Tools for Self-Reliance has enjoyed very long-term and generous support over the years from grant funders and from people who care about our work. And we also have many volunteers involved in fundraising as well. In 2019, thanks to a large one-off grant from a long-standing funder, our income reached just over £1 million for that year for the first time ever. And as a result, we were planning a whole range of extended projects. And we were also looking at how we could invest in fundraising so that we could continue to grow in the future. We were looking forward to our 40th anniversary year, and we had a whole host of events planned for the year, including our anniversary ball, which would have been taking place tomorrow on our official anniversary, the 10th of October. And I imagine it would have looked very much like the scene you see on the screen in front of you. As we all know, a lot has changed since the end of 2019. Like everyone else, we've had to change a lot of our plans. Instead of practicing our waltzes today, we're all here getting together online, and it looks like it will be that way for quite some time. We're celebrating Tea for Tools Week at the moment, but it's been much more difficult for supporters to get together. And of course, events such as tool sales are off the table. Our volunteers across the country hold a lot of sales and events, and between our events and theirs, we're losing around £100,000 in income this year just from those activities. This is money that we rely on to continue our work with partners delivering our projects, as well as running the workshop and activities in the UK, so it makes a huge difference. Like all small charities, we are very, very aware that there are threats to our ability to continue fundraising. However, I do want to say it is by no means all bad news, and I really want to recognise the good things that have happened this year. Firstly, we had a very successful Radio 4 appeal presented by our very own volunteer, Janet Moody. Janet has been with us for over 10 years, and those of you who heard the appeal might also know her as the self-proclaimed needle monitor. She shared the story of Kadiatu Sese, a tailoring graduate in Sierra Leone, and this story really moved people to donate. The appeal raised over £40,000 and helped us to bring our work to a whole new audience. Successful fundraising from grants and trusts meant that in 2020 we were able to start some extended projects, so projects which combine vocational training with other activities, supported by funders such as Guernsey Overseas Aid Commission and the Turing Foundation. And of course, we have continued to be really overwhelmed by the generosity of supporters, funders and volunteers who have been incredibly generous and dug deep to support us in the last 6 months. We really can't emphasize enough how much difference that's made, from the volunteers who have been parceling up items and going to the post office to sell items on eBay, to every individual who's responded to our appeals and made donations. We really have been overwhelmed, and it's made such a difference. Although there is more uncertainty ahead, what we know is that we will continue to need to raise funds for life-changing projects. Fundraising is always a challenge, and at the moment, with so many charities facing a growing need for their work, there is more pressure than ever before. We are very lucky to have a small, hard-working team of dedicated fundraisers and to have that long-standing and generous support from so many people. But we know that we're going to have to go the extra mile to ensure that we can continue into 2021 and for as long as our work is needed. It's still going to be a while before we see our supporters in person at tool sales and quiz nights, but there are lots of imaginative ways we can use technology to get together and raise funds in the meantime. And our fundraising plan for next year will include some new activities. For this year, we do have Christmas on the horizon. So if you'd like to visit our online shop, you can stock up today on Christmas cards. And we have a new range of virtual gifts coming soon too. Whatever you can do to support Tools for Self-Reliance in the next year and beyond will be hugely appreciated and make a real difference. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jan Moody, and I volunteer in the sewing machine workshop at Tools for Self-Reliance. When I retired, I wanted to do something practical, something with my hands. I've been sitting at a desk for 45 years, and I knew I didn't want to do that anymore. So I knew about tools already through friends, and it's not very far. The head office is not far away from me. So I went over there. I was trained to repair hand sewing machines. I can recondition a 1917 Singer sewing machine to work as well today as it did in 1917 when it was made. I get a lot of benefit from volunteering, great feelings of self-worth, and knowing that I'm helping a woman at the other side of the world to make a good life for her family. Tools do some wonderful work in countries like Sierra Leone, Malawi, Zambia, providing tools and sewing machines to people, and then running a training project to give them practical skills so that they can go out into the community, set up their own workshops, and be able to earn an income and support their families. So that's why I support Tools for Self-Reliance, and I do hope you can too.
I hope that you enjoyed those videos and those updates. We want to continue with telling you more about our work in Africa, and so I'm going to hand you over to our partners in Sierra Leone, Baptist Women Union, and Joe, one of our fundraising team, is also going to tell you more about our partnership with Rotary.
Polymer Center, funded by the Baptist, operated by the Baptist Women's Union and funded by Tools for Self-Reliance. Today, at the interview now, what is the training don't mean to you?
Yes, me this training don't mean to me for good thing. Because I don't try to I don't get waiting for do. So they become supply me money. That money where they give me, I go buy lapa, the 5 lapa. So I can't begin show. So anyone close for a show, anyone lapa, if they come out 3, that means in a 30,000 what they sell. So I'm glad if the boy don't increase, but put it in my life.
As for me, this tailoring don't mean but putting in my life. It don't make I don't reduce idleness na me host. Now they so perfect.
Yes, me this tailoring don't do but putting for me. The money where they can't give me, I buy lapa, I buy thread and sew for me practical. The balance I buy milk for make butter, come for line for sale. For line no absent.
This tailoring don't mean but putting in my life. Why me can let me sabi I for make soap. So that money where they give me, I will take I go buy soap, I buy soap that I can make this soap here. So now thank God.
One for tell God thank you for this one in life as they all they can for can soap. Then they got fine they so they make me say they happy as teacher. I'm so happy for their life and God will continue to increase for them as they sew and do everything now. They know they idle again, all my know they lazy they can't on time. So I'm glad for that. They be so perfect for me. Even me are glad because of the students them way they all seriousness right now because today so they make idleness and they do nothing but for more than get any money. So man they buy la pie, they sew, they sell, you know they enough. That they say they don't do something in their life.
So how una see the tailoring una all? Fine. If fine una they enjoy, eh? Yes.
Hi, I'm Jo Shannon, and part of my role at Tools for Self-Reliance is to work with Rotary clubs and inner wheel clubs in our district, but also right across the UK. From the very beginning, if you've read Glyn Roberts' book, you'll know that Rotary is mentioned very, very early on. Gave some funding, I think towards a shipment. So yeah, they've been involved really from day one. Okay, so that was probably about 11 years ago. A Rotarian in District 1130 called Tony Sharma. Anyone who knows Tony Sharma knows that he's a real whirlwind. He was kind of a real instigator for me personally, working with Rotary clubs. He kind of scooped me up, introduced me to lots of people, showed me the Rotary way, told me lots of things, gave me lots of advice, the best way to work with Rotary clubs, using the Rotary wheel, publicising the fact that we work with Rotary clubs, because obviously that gives kudos from club to club. That was amazing. I don't know, sometimes I think, you know, I'm not sure where we would be in our Rotary journey without Tony Sharma. And I don't want to exclude anyone else from that, because there have been some amazing Rotarians who have supported us along the way. But Tony Sharma really was the first Rotarian that I'd worked closely with. Thank you, Tony. Another fond memory that I have was of an inner wheel club, Boscombe and Southbourne. They, for me personally, they were the first inner wheel club that I can remember who funded a tailoring project in Ghana. And I remember that when the project finished, we invited them to come and have an evaluation presentation from one of the evaluation staff who went over to Ghana. And I just remember we were up here having coffee, having biscuits. I just remember how thrilled the Inner Wheel Club members were to hear the impact of their donation and the really positive things that had come out of that. In 2014, we had a big project to replace the roof and the flooring throughout the workshop and the warehouse. It's made a big difference. It's made a big difference to our work, and Rotary, of course, again provided funding to replace the roof and the flooring. In December 2014, we held an event to thank Rotary clubs, because it had been lots of Rotarians throughout District 1110 who had contributed funding towards the flooring and the ceiling, the roof. And so we wanted to put on an event to say thank you to them. The Daily Echo came, and it was such a lovely event. And then amazingly, towards the end of the event, they started talking about myself, Sarah, John. The upshot of it was that I was awarded Paul Harris Fellowship Award, which in Rotary is very prestigious, and it's a real honour to receive it, and it was totally out of the blue. So Rotary clubs and inner wheel clubs have a really positive impact on the work of Tools for Self-Reliance. And you know, I'm not sure actually if they identify how much of an impact that they have on our participants in our projects. So I'll give you an example. So Rotary clubs and inner wheel clubs who have donated machinery to us, the drill sharpening machine that was donated by an inner wheel club, all of those drill bits that are sharpened using that machine go on and make a real difference to people. Rotary clubs who I've done tool collections with, when we're stood in a supermarket car park on a Saturday, it's pouring with rain, but 24 sewing machines come in. And then I get to meet those people who have received those sewing machines in their workshops. So Sackville Tailoring, who I've told lots of Rotary clubs and inner wheel clubs about in Sierra Leone, those sewing machines possibly have been donated by Rotary clubs and inner wheel clubs. So I really want those clubs to identify with the impact that they have on our work and our participants in Africa. So I just want to say a big thank you. Over the years, over the last 40 years, the support that you've given to Tools for Self-Reliance has been amazing. Thank you very much from all of us.
Hello, my name is Claudia. Thank you. I love you. Bye. Hello, my name is Josie. I love you.
Hello, my name is Adama. I love you. Hello, my name is Rose. I love you.
Bye.
We are saying hello to you people because we are so much happy today for seeing you people. But now we are saying hello to you. Hello. Bye. Bye.
Welcome back again. I hope you enjoyed those videos from our partners in Africa, and just to echo Joe's thanks to all of our Rotary clubs and inner wheels for their support over such a long period of time. Now we're going to head over to Ghana again, and we're going to meet our partner Tracks and find out a bit more about their work, and also a bit more about the work that we're doing here in the UK. And then we'll end with a video from our partner in Zambia called Elishib, and they'll tell us about a project that they've been running that's been supported by a legacy that we received. So over to Tracks.
My name is Vincent Sube, the director of Trans Ghana. It is a great pleasure for me, on behalf of Trans Ghana Board of Directors, staff and project beneficiaries, to extend my heartiest congratulations to Tools for Self-Reliance on its 40th anniversary. Trans Ghana and Tools for Self-Reliance partnership started in 2007 based on a shared vision. The partnership program was intended to contribute to poverty reduction by enabling unemployed youth adults who are mostly school dropouts, single mothers, physically challenged, and people living with HIV/AIDS to secure self-employable skills which they can use to look after themselves and their families. As part of a well-structured program, beneficiaries are taken through business, life skills, literacy, numeracy, and intensive vocational skills trainings. Upon graduation, each participant receives a certificate of participation, a set of high-quality refurbished tools, and seed money from Tools for Self-Reliance to establish their own businesses. By giving them a new lease of life, beneficiaries were able to take care of themselves and their dependents through provision of basic household needs, including food, send their children to school, and pay for health premium, and even acquire properties. This has resulted into confidence and self-esteem. To date, over 400 young adults have benefited directly from our partnership project, and over 2,500 as indirect beneficiaries or dependents. The 40th anniversary is a time for reflecting on the past and looking ahead to the future. Based on your solid foundation and remarkable achievements in Northern Ghana where we operate, I keenly look forward to witnessing the continuous achievement of Tools for Self-Reliance along your mission to contribute to poverty reduction in Africa by working with partner organizations to empower people to build sustainable livelihoods through the provision of tools and training. I am confident that with the strong leadership and devoted staff, board and network of volunteers, Tools for Self-Reliance will achieve new heights in all spheres in the years to come. Once again, I say congratulations and happy 40th anniversary.
Hi, I'm Stuart. I'm the workshop manager here at Tools for Self-Reliance, Netley Marsh. What you've just been looking at is the Malawi shipment. This obviously was had to be postponed due to the coronavirus outbreak. I'm happy to say now we're back on track and repacking kits ready to send it by the end of the year. We're about 3/4 finished now. We've got lots of carpentry kits, auto mechanics kits. These are all sewing machines individually boxed in banana boxes and the cardboard crates. So we're getting there now, relying on our day-to-day volunteers to pack kits. But as I say, we're planning on shipping by the end of the year. This is a 40-foot container, so it's a very large shipment, and it's going to fit out a training centre in Malawi among other projects. Okay, so we've had to put quite a lot of changes in place to make our workplace COVID secure in line with government guidelines. So the first thing we've done is we bring all the volunteers in through a fire escape rather than the main reception to cut down on overcrowding in that area. There's hand sanitisers at all of the entrance and exit points. When volunteers and staff come in, first of all they are temperature checked, and then I sign them in and sign them out at the end of the day to prevent cross-contamination. After that, we've got the workshop marked out with 2 metre spacing tape to help remind us to keep social distancing. We've also got individually marked workstations, X marks the spot, so that people know where they should be working, again, to maintain that distance. All of the doors are propped open, so we minimise touch points, and we also open windows and doors to create through cross-flow ventilation. We've got a couple of areas where previously 2 people could work side by side, and then these have become a one-person work area with floor marking accordingly. So yeah, and we can have up to a maximum of 18 volunteers within the whole workshop and warehouse in a day.
Welcome back again. We are now going to meet some of our volunteers in the UK. As we've mentioned, our volunteers play a crucial role in enabling us to do the work that we do. So we've got some short videos from just a handful of those volunteers that we want to share with you. And also you're going to hear from Ben, who's our group support officer here at Tools Self-Reliance, and some of the work he does with our groups around the UK.
Hi, my name's Gavin and I've been volunteering for 3 or 4 years at TFSR.
Well, I'm Kevin Fletcher and I oversee the power tool department here at Tools of Self-Reliance. I've been volunteering here for about 3 years, and in that time we've developed the power tools in a big way now, so if any of that sort of stuff goes off to Africa.
Hi, I'm Hilary. I've been volunteering here at Tools for Self-Reliance only officially just for a few weeks now, but I've been helping over the last few years when Tools for Self-Reliance run their haberdashery sales to raise money.
Hi, my name's John and I've been volunteering at the Tools for Self-Reliance for about 11 years. And today I'm packing a welding kit to go to Milan.
My name is Martin and I've been volunteering for Tools for Self-Reliance for 17 years. I used to work for the Forestry Commission and I do ground maintenance here, bits of tree felling, maintaining gutters on the buildings and general hedge cutting.
The first time I came here, I came with my mum because my mum and dad have been volunteering for years and years and years. Mum still volunteers here and she brought me upstairs in the workshop and I helped her sort out lots of haberdashery materials.
Oh, I can remember that. I was sharpening saws, or being told how to sharpen saws.
On my very first day at Tools for Self-Reliance, after being given a guided tour by our then manager, the first thing I did was to have an overlook, if you like, of the power tool set up here and to see how it was run, what we were sending, what we weren't sending, and really to have a look into how we could increase output and the quality of and variety of power tools to go to Africa.
I was kindly introduced to Alan Busher, who was at the time and still probably the expert on sewing machines, and he helped train me.
I was a forester employed by the Forestry Commission working at Savernake Forest just outside Marlborough.
In 1980 I was at school. I would have been at the very first year of my secondary school, probably concentrating on studies like art, woodwork, chemistry, physics.
I was working for a newspaper as a photographer.
In 1979, so I was at university in Manchester studying French and computer studies.
What was I doing in 1980? I was a motorcycle mechanic. In the hundreds, maybe 300 to 500.
Sewing machines or?
Sewing machines, yeah.
Well, the first 10 years I mostly did tool refurbishment and probably refurbished something like 400 or 500 tools in that time.
A lot, maybe thousands. That's a difficult question to ask because there are so many things you get out of it. The people are lovely here and you feel like you're doing a good job.
I love taking things to bits, so I'm getting pleasure out of it, and I know I'm doing good in Africa, so it's a double bonus.
There are many things. One of the most important is it's a win-win situation. The charity provides refurbishes tools for Africa, where there are benefits to the people, the artisans working out in the 5 African countries, and of course those of us who work here at the headquarters of TFSR, we get convivial time chatting at coffee and lunchtime, and you feel you're putting something back into the world after having a lifetime of working, a career of working.
The thing I enjoy the most is working alongside other people, particularly some of the guys who've been involved in various different occupations for many years, are very experienced, very qualified, and it's nice to get some tips and hints off of those guys. And also the social side of it as well, where we get to talk about stories about old times and various things that have happened. It's good for one's relaxation and enjoyment.
Hi there, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ben Riley. I am the volunteer coordinator. I work primarily with our groups, our volunteer groups across the UK, and the collectors as well, comprising of up to around 500 volunteers in total. And these volunteers form a huge backbone of our organisation and what we do. They make trade toolkits, mixed toolkits, and collect their tools as well, and refurbish them ready to stock our shelves down here at HQ. So I just want to say a huge thank you for all those hard-working volunteers, as I say, really forming the backbone of what we do and making sure that we can continue to do so. We've recorded over 3,800 years of voluntary service from our groups and collectors. This is obviously a huge amount of loyalty and support, but the actual number will be a lot higher than that because we don't have records for every volunteer. This just highlights the dedication and enthusiasm that our volunteers show us, and again highlights how the charity wouldn't even have reached the age 1, let alone 40. So again, a huge thanks for that level of support. In the last 10 years, the groups have provided us with over 1,200 toolkits, specific toolkits for our projects, as well as countless other boxes of mixed tools as well to fill our shelves ready for our projects to send shipments from HQ. It's not just tools that have been provided by groups as well, increasingly fundraising is being sent as well. In the last 10 years, the groups have raised over £366,000, and 70% of that was raised in the last 5 years, so it just shows how that is increasing year on year. Obviously this year has been a bit more difficult so far, but even so the groups have still been very busy raising funds for us and have raised over £17,000 for us since January. The majority of that was actually raised since March as well, so that shows that even during lockdown, during a global pandemic, and when groups can't go to their workshops, they're still working hard to raise funds for us as well. I'm missing my road trips on group visits to go and see everyone. Hopefully I will see you again soon in person, but for now I just wanted to say a big thank you.
Well, I think that's hopefully given you a really good overview of the way that we work, the people that we work with, and the people that are supporting our charity right across the UK and in Africa. We were going to have some questions and answers. There's a few questions that have come up, but those are questions that we'll be able to respond to because they're specific questions about groups around the UK. We've also had some lovely messages and birthday messages from people, so thank you very much for those as well. We hope that you've enjoyed this opportunity to join us today and to help us to make this a very successful event. All of us here at Tools Self-Reliance hope that we would be able to meet in person soon, and we look forward to when that's going to be possible. A thank you goes out to the team here at Tools Self-Reliance who've worked so hard to pull this together. Julia has done an amazing job becoming our video queen, and we're really grateful for that. Please remember that this will be online later if people want to access it. We'll be publishing the link that will take you to this presentation so you'll be able to see it more in detail. And once again, a big thank you to everybody that's linked with our charity for your support. It is amazing, and 40 years on, it's always going to be appreciated in the past, in the future, and we wish you all well. So take care and stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you all again whenever that's possible. Thank you.